Good morning. It's January 30th, 2020. Wow, already 2026. Anyway, you know what? I'm recording this because I wanted to put my thought into something that I don't understand. And the one thing I don't understand is quantum physics. Okay? I don't understand quantum physics. In fact, those words never really crossed my mind until I started watching The Big Bang Theory. Now, The Big Bang Theory is long gone, but I discovered it on YouTube and I never saw it, so I decided to watch it. And I kind of hooked on it. I kind of like it. But anyway, they're physicists, right? But there are some things in their show that they keep talking about, and one of them is about Schrodinger's cat. Schrodinger's cat experiment, his theory, right? And so, as long as the deal is with that is like, as long as the cat is in the box, as long as the cat is in the box, even though there might be poison, you don't know if the cat is alive or dead. They put poison in the box, but no one knows as long as the box is closed and the cat is in the box. No one knows if the cat is alive or dead. And the whole thing is they keep mentioning stuff like this, and I thought about it, right? And you can never know the answer. You can never know the answer unless you open up the box. Schrodinger's cat. And this kept coming up. And so I decided to kind of just look at it. So this morning, me and the Lord is talking, and this comes up. It comes up because of it came up because I don't know why he's trying to teach me, but it's like I started to see Schrodinger's cat as that experiment, as trying to explain, as someone trying to explain consciousness or awareness. So that's how I was seeing it, because I'm looking through the eyes of what God has taught me in my relationship with Him, and looking at that understanding and putting it and looking at it from that perspective, right? Because it goes so far, but it doesn't really, it says something, but sometimes it doesn't say anything, right? So it's saying the cat is in the box, the experiment, the cat is in the box, you don't know, and it's like life, right? There are many possibilities and many choices in life, okay? And so this is where we start to get into all this stuff. That's why I wanted to record it. And I said there are many choices, but no one can really, and I told the Lord, no one can really know their purpose or direction in life unless they choose to go that path. And when I had said that, when we make choices, see, when we make choices in life or for anything, when you make a choice, once a choice is made, all other options are gone. You understand that? And so it's like until you make the choice, like until you open the box, you don't know until you step into that place of knowing, of wanting to know. And so I was looking at it from that kind of perspective, just like in our walk with God, that we look at things from a place of we know God, but we see like, oh, we say we believe in God, but we also know that we struggle within our heart just to live life itself, right? Just to get on through the day. But we say we believe. So we have this in us saying we believe, but we also have this in us that say, but help my unbelief kind of thing, right? The doubts and the fears are here, and your belief in God is here. And when you walk through life with these two things going on, because are you trusting in God? Not completely. Are you afraid of what the world is doing? Yes, but not completely, right? So you have these two ways of thinking, two ways of understanding, unsure if you should truly trust God or just go and do what you're supposed. You know what I mean? You have choices. And when you step into life, and so this is the whole thing, and like Schrodinger's cat, you cannot know what's going to happen until you make a choice, to open that box, to take that step, okay? And that's how consciousness works. Until you can have ideas, you can have feelings, you can have emotions, you can have a lot of things, okay, going on when it associates to family, friends, finances, health, anything. Just pick one. We're just talking here. So if you pick, let's do family. When you say you love your family, but you have this deep set, maybe issue going on deep inside, maybe abuse from the past and stuff, and it still affects you today, even though it was years ago. It's today. So that which hurts you, this is, I'm telling you how God showed me consciousness, awareness. When you, because being aware is to know something. Yeah. To become conscious is to know something. The moment you know something, it's like opening the box. The moment you know, you made a choice. The moment you know something is when the box is open because it's truth. Once the box is open, it's truth. And that's that. That's when you know. And just like with us, when we know the truth, okay? So, just like in our walk with God, right? Just like in our walk with God, we have these ideas of how we should walk and where we should walk and the things that we do. Okay, we have all these things, and it's like that, and we don't know. We're not going to know what God can do unless we choose to trust God completely. Pick a side, right? And choose to open. Because unless you just make decisions and decide, will you walk with him or do you want, all these decisions, because a lot of the stuff that's happening with you in the world is based on how you really believe in God taking care and God guiding, right? That's why when you make a choice, then this, right? There becomes an awareness of God that makes it all one. And once that one thing is taken, you become aware of that, you become conscious of that, and hence that's the way you're going to walk. Okay? Then, when I was talking like that, people aren't going to know who they really are in God. They aren't going to know what they can really do until they make the choice to step into that place. And when I said that, then this other thing from Big Bang Theory came up, right? About the two-slit experiment. I actually went and looked these things up because they mention it. I don't understand it, even though they kind of. I went and looked it up, and I was understanding about the moment I saw the two-slit experiment, it reminded me of the box. It's the same exact thing. And in my mind, it's the same thing, right? Because of how I'm seeing it. Because the particle that that the experiment they took one machine particle and they spit out these electrons, these, I'm going to call them electrons, that became, I forgot, matter, and they shot it through a single slit, and that single slit made on the back wall, those particles hit the back wall because that's the greatest force right there. And it showed a single line, single slit, single line. Okay, that's single-mindedness. Okay, that's kind of like consciousness. And I'm trying to relate, because we're talking about consciousness. And I'm trying to relate that kind of single-minded choice, that single-minded life, that single-minded walk, to believe, to trust, to walk with God. Okay, it's not I'm going to be like, it's not a robot thing. It's a consciousness thing. Okay, if you choose to be good, I will be good. You know what I mean? And good comes with being just and fair with everybody, having compassion on other people, and walking humbly with your God. This is good, right? She said, I'm going to walk good because you have chosen to walk this path. Me, I have chosen this path. This is the path I go. This is a single life walk, okay? There is no other influence on the outside. But when there is two slits, okay, so they showed the experience, but when there is two slits, from the side of throwing the particles out, they just went, right? They were expecting two slits on the back wall, right? But what happens is, the guy I listened to explained it like a wave, like a wave. When there was single-minded, when it was a single slot, that single slit that they put the particle through, then the wave or the ripple forward reflected that single-mindedness. That's how I'm looking at it. Because God's talking to me about consciousness, right? Awareness. Okay? And he's relating it. Remember, I don't know any of this. Okay? This is from what I saw on Big Bang Theory and what I went and looked it up. So yeah. It's funny. But this is what I was seeing. And so when I went and I looked up that so I could understand what it was about, and I understood. When there was a single slit, there was a single outcome. When there was a single slit, there was a single outcome. When there was a single direction, once, and it's like what was it? The electron becomes, the particle becomes the matter. The electron becomes the particle that becomes the matter. Anyway, the matter is the outcome, right? So when it's like a thought, it starts here, like that thought. like that electron. And once it leaves and it comes into this world, this thought becomes this life. This understanding, this knowing becomes this. But if this knowing comes with baggage, I'm not talking about. Okay, so if you have a knowing of the direction, then it's going to leave, and your life will reflect that, and the end result, the wave that comes, the forward wave that comes up from it, will validate that single slot, and we live our life in that consciousness of that forward ripple down that path that takes us to that force, that one spot. But when there's two, when you have a knowing, but you also have a knowing, and I say like this, consciousness. Example, how could those ministers of those mega churches, because I'm going to relate it to God anyway, how could those ministers of those mega churches not be consciously aware of standing at the pulpit praising God, and the heinous thing they were doing, but no one was watching? These two things. So they have this, I'm preaching, I'm teaching, I'm the minister of God, but they have their secret true life, the one they live in secret, because this is the one they're showing everybody. This is an external one, but this is how they see themselves. They have this about them. That's why they live it. But they also know this. They know this before the people, so hence they, right? But in their heart, inside of them, they know this. Even though these people don't know, we do. So this one person, I'm using that. So as the minister of the mega churches or whatever they went through, they have this knowledge of being before God, and then they have this secret. And this secret is the truth. This is the truth. This is what you know that is inside of you. This is what you know. And how is this influencing this? Okay. So now these who know they have this in their heart, who knows they walk like this with God, and who knows this has these two things going on. So by the time those two thoughts come out of them, this happens. Okay. Two of them go on. So they come before the people. This is how I'm seeing it. Just go with me. They come before the people saying, I got to preach today. And last night they did this thing. And they're like, but I know I did this. So they're going to hide this, even though this is still a part of this, because these two knowings are there. These two truths are there. And when they go together and come and become aware of each other's presence, they interfere with each other. That's when you get the interference wave, right? With the single-minded one, you get a single wave, and the tip of the wave hit the back wall, and all the particles would hit the back wall. But in the double slit, even though it goes in like this, it comes out like this. Interference. And many different outcomes because of this indecision. Because of the lie, the deceit, right? And this is how consciousness works. When we do that, the moment we step into it, and that's like the experiment goes through the wall, the moment the particle went through the wall, it kind of interfered with everything. Because it's interfering with another truth. And the outcome, boom, boom, boom. You see all the ripples because of the interference pattern. So instead of one single nice wave, you have the multiple wave effect all hitting the wall. And here all those particles are making all these lines of indecision, all these different paths, all these different outcomes. And so I was looking at it like that. Am I seeing it wrong? Because God, He always teaches us, take heed of yourself, be aware. Do not let anybody deceive you. So He always tells us to know for yourself, right? Know for yourself. Do not let another influence your truth. If you know the truth, you walk the truth. But do not say my truth is based on what he said, she said, they said, what I gave. It cannot be based on anything except who you believe in. For me, Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. As I pray, He is yours. But wasn't that interesting? Am I seeing it correctly? All of this thing, I told the Lord, I said, all of this so that they can prove you. They're trying to prove consciousness. That's what it is, but they're not seeing it that way because they're trying to prove why the particles. But if you look at it, it's doing that because it is aware. Everything is aware of God. But because we separate it from ourselves, we are as they are. Our life is as there as the particles. Yeah. When the viewer, when they decided to watch, and that was the key, yeah, the two slit and came out with the multiple wave, the interference, right? Because they just letting it fly, right? Letting the particles fly between two slits. And once it passed the threshold, it interfered with each other. This is what happens when you walk a double life, a double-minded life, yeah? A split tongue kind of thing, a forked tongue thing. This is what happens. You're going to get a lot of interference in your life. You should be aware of that, right? Because a lot of times, a lot of that interference is because something is influencing something, and yet you know the truth. You know, it's kind of like that. Two knowings going at the same time. You cannot live that kind of double life. Pick a side. But the I think to me the best part was they decided because they just like if the wall was between you and me like this, they would just shoot it and they would stand here and watch the particles go this way. Okay, hit the wall. Yeah, the radiation hit the wall straight ahead. They decided because it was happening this like with the water, this wave pattern of interference was happening with the particles. They wanted to find out the moment it did that. The moment it scattered like that and become interference. So they decided to watch. Yeah, this is part of that experiment with the slut. The moment they decided to watch, these two that would have interfered with your life became solid. In other words, that consciousness, awareness made it single-minded. Okay, made it single-minded. And that's the whole thing. And yet you can live your life in God this way, and you can live your life in God this way. And the moment they observed, and when I saw, when I was listening to the experiment thing, the moment they became, the moment they wanted to watch, it's like the particle became aware that it was being watched. Is that not consciousness? Are we not aware that God is watching? Are we not aware? We're the particles here now, right? Oh, and then he started to talk about, he brought in this, because you know what I've been seeing on YouTube? The multiverse theory. Somebody mentioned that. Anyway, this multiverse theory, it's like we live in multi-universe. This is how the guy said it. For every choice that you make, there is I guess, a universe or a verse. That's what you have, that you see the pictures of the multi-worlds, multi-universes. But I think it's like the particles. As long as there is indecision, there is many options. There's many potentials, okay? There's many directions in our life, right? Of course, any one of them can take us down a road. You know what I mean? The very choice we make, the very things that we do, every choice. But once you make a choice, and this is kind of what the Lord taught me, once I make a choice, all other choices fall away. They cannot live because I chose not those things. How can it be a multi-universe if those choices in my heart I'm not going to make? I would never make. I would never make those decisions. The choices stay alive as long as you don't make that choice. But once you choose that, then all other choices gotta pass away. There cannot be a multiple thing going. I guess this is someone trying to explain consciousness without using God in any of it. And yet, in every single one, I see God. I thought I'd share because I don't know. Someone tell me, am I seeing it right? Is it only me? Am I biased towards God? I think I am. May God bless you with this. I hope you get a laugh. God bless you all.